Luminous objects hover over Tennessee College campus, June 1, 1853, as the sun rose over the campus of Burritt College. Numerous students who apparently were early risers in those days too, were startled to see two luminous objects in the sky. According to Professor A.C. Carnes, who reported the incident in a letter to Scientific American, the first had the appearance of a small new moon, while the other resembled a large star. The small object then vanished, while the bigger one changed shape, first into a globe and then into an elongated shape parallel with the horizon. The smaller light then became visible again, and increased rapidly in size, while the other object shrank. The two objects continued fluctuating in a similar fashion for the next 30 minutes. The students have asked for an explanation, but neither the president nor professors are satisfied as to the character of the lights, wrote Carnes, while he himself speculated that the occurrence might have been caused somehow by atmospheric moisture. The incident remains a mystery. Purported UFO crash in Texas. April 17, 1897, at about 6 a.m. that morning, according to contemporaneous Dallas Morning News account, citizens of the small town of Aurora were awakened by the appearance of what the writer referred to as an airship. The craft reportedly malfunctioned and stalled, and crashed into a windmill on the property of a local judge, scattering debris over several acres. The pilot of the ship is supposed to have been the only one aboard and, while his remains were badly disfigured, enough of the original has been picked up to show that he was not an inhabitant of this world. According to the Morning News account, skeptics long have dismissed the account as a hoax. But in 1973, a United Press International reporter located a 91-year-old resident, Mary Evans, who recalled her parents visiting the crash site, and telling her that the body of the UFO pilot had been buried in the town cemetery. The Kecksburg Incident. December 9, 1965, numerous residents of the small Pennsylvania village about 40 miles from Pittsburgh saw an object that some witnesses described as streaking green fire across the sky before it crashed in a local field. Just before 6 p.m. that evening, local resident Bill Bulbush, who was working on his car when he saw the object, described it as acorn-shaped and about twice the size of a Volkswagen Beetle. He said that it glided slowing before making a U-turn and going down. A local fireman, James Romansky, later described the downed craft as having hieroglyphic-like writing around its bottom ring. He only got to examine the craft for about 15 minutes before government and military officials arrived and ordered everyone from the scene, and posted armed guards around the perimeter. Subsequently, there was speculation that the object may have been a Soviet satellite. But UFO researcher Clifford Stone, who spoke years later to former Soviet officials, said they insisted that the object had not been one of theirs. After investigative journalist Leslie Kean filed a Freedom of Information Act suit, NASA revealed in 2009 that documentation on the case was missing. The Battle of Los Angeles. February 25, 1942, in the early morning hours, radar operators spotted an unidentified object 120 miles west of Los Angeles and watched anxiously as it zoomed to within a few miles of the Southern California coast, and then inexplicably vanished from their screens. Sometime after that, an artillery officer along the coast reported what he described as 25 aircraft flying at 25,000 feet, and a few minutes later, other observers saw a balloon-like object carrying what appeared to be flares over nearby Santa Monica. Then, anti-aircraft batteries spotted what witnesses later described as swarms of objects flying at various altitudes, at speeds of up to 200 miles per hour. Fearing that the city was under attack by the Japanese, they fired 1,400 rounds of ammunition at the bogies. But apparently, none of them hit anything. Because no wreckage subsequently was found, officials initially ascribed the incident to a combination of a false alarm and mass hysteria. But ufologists have speculated over the years that the gunners might have been shooting at extraterrestrial spacecraft.